Look closely at the truly powerful and you'll notice a strange performance. They wear cheap shirts on purpose, old shoes by design. They sit in ordinary cafes, drive modest cars, speak softly in crowded rooms, and you think it's humility. You think it's wisdom. It isn't. It's protection. Disguise is the shield of the established. Camouflage is the privilege of those already enthroned. When the rich pretend to be poor, it softens envy, lowers defenses, and lets them move through the crowd unseen. When the poor copy the same disguise, it doesn't protect them. It erases them. If you look powerless, the world decides you are. And once that judgment lands, treatment follows. I've watched a man walk into a meeting in an outdated suit. His posture was sharp, his mind sharper. No one listened. Wrinkles, worn shoes, an off-brand watch. 3 silent votes against him before he spoke a word. I've heard a woman tell the truth on a street corner. Her voice trembled. Her clothes hung loose. They laughed. Not because she was wrong, but because her image whispered, "Ignore her." I've seen a factory worker solve problems faster than his manager. No one noticed. His hands were dirty, his shirt stained, his signal buried under the costume of labor. This is the cruelty most refuse to say aloud. Power is not only earned, it is performed. Signal comes before substance is heard. The rich understand this law and exploit it mercilessly. Once they have networks, assets, and leverage, they can afford to vanish. A billionaire in sandals is framed as wise. A poor man in sandals is framed as lazy. The same outfit. 2 verdicts. Context is everything. Power rewrites meaning. Without it, you are judged at face value. Every room you enter is running a quiet algorithm. Eyes scan. Cues are read. You are placed on a shelf before you speak. Packaging decides if you are picked or ignored. It does not matter how kind you are, how brilliant your ideas might be, how noble your soul is. If your presence says nothing, you will be treated like nothing. And if you play humble before you have force, you will be stepped over, used, and forgotten. Invisibility is not safety. It is slow death. Understand the sequence the elites don't say out loud. They did not become great by hiding. They hid after they became great. You see the quiet billionaire in joggers and a t-shirt and think, he's humble. That's why he made it. No, he made it. Then he went quiet. His modesty is not virtue. It is strategy. It disarms suspicion. It invites trust. It keeps the spotlight cool while the machine grows hotter. Choice is the difference. The rich wear poverty like a mask they can remove. The poor wear it like skin they cannot shed. A wealthy investor arrives in sandals and an old hoodie, and the room calls him authentic. A job applicant arrives in the same attire and is labeled unserious. One man's rebellion is another man's rejection. Camouflage only works once your position is secured. Before that, modesty is misread as weakness. You've been trained to disappear. Blend in. Don't be flashy. Keep your head down and let your work speak. But your work does not speak without a microphone, and microphones are handed to the visible. The world does not reward humility. It rewards power that wears humility like jewelry. If you haven't built the base, the jewelry strangles you. Watch how the empire minds move. They make noise when leverage is needed. They flex when deals must close. They use name, network, reputation. Only when the throne is theirs do they turn down the volume and let myths grow. So rich, yet so simple. They are applauded not for restraint, but for having the option not to be restrained. Their humility is a choice. Yours, if it springs from fear, is a sentence. A Roman emperor once walked his capital in a plain wool cloak. The crowd praised him. What they did not see were the guards in the shadows, the spies on rooftops, the alliances wired across the provinces. The cloak was not humility, it was theater. He knew the calculus. Too grand inspires revolt. Too poor invites contempt. Just humble enough inspires devotion. That balance is power. Modern royalty follows the same script. Subdued suits, tinted cars, polished restraint. The king who roars is dangerous. The king who whispers is terrifying. Steve Jobs' black turtlenecks, Zuckerberg's gray tees, Buffett's modest home. These did not create power. They curated it. Simplicity amplified after credibility is myth-making. Simplicity before credibility is mislabeling. Here is the trap. Copying the performance without building the engine beneath it. Simplicity without leverage equals disappearance. Quiet without status equals doubt. Poverty with humility equals irrelevance. If you imitate the outer shell of the powerful before you've built an inner core, you do not become mysterious. You become forgettable. So stop asking if this is fair. Ask if it is true, because it is operating whether you accept it or not. From this moment, treat presence as a discipline. You do not need millions to project weight. You need control over signal, over story, over the first 3 seconds when judgment is cast. Your posture. Enter slowly. Stand still, shoulders set, chin level. Do not fidget. Do not rush. Let silence stretch past the comfort of the average man. Tension is gravity. Weak men fill space with noise. Strong men create space and let others orbit. Your eyes. Meet, hold, release with intent. You are not scanning for approval. You are measuring terrain. Your pace. Measured. Never hurried by someone else's urgency. Time moves around the immovable. Your clothing, it does not have to be expensive. It must be intentional. Fit over flash, clean over loud, neutral over chaotic. Sharp lines, clean shoes. Not to look rich, but to signal order. I govern myself. People assume those who govern themselves can govern more. Assumption precedes opportunity. Your words, fewer, sharper. Speak like a blade, not a fog. Do not explain unless it advances position. Do not overshare. Mystery is leverage. What cannot be predicted cannot be controlled. When you finish a sentence, stop. Let the quiet do part of the work. Those who command never chase understanding. They expect it. Your boundaries, swift, silent, consistent. No speeches. Consequences. Cross the line once, access narrows. Cross it twice, access ends. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear here means consequence. Consequence creates respect. Respect allows love to grow on solid ground. Your availability. Become selectively scarce. Access is value. If everyone has you, no one values you. Strategic distance multiplies demand. Your no is a branding message. Your energy. Calm, grounded, unshakable. People follow certainty, even an early version of it. Walk as if your path is already paved. Success is first a rumor you start and then fulfill. A hard revelation. The crowd does not admire humility. It admires dominance disguised as humility. It follows presence. It remembers contrast. Envy is not your enemy. Indifference is. Hatred at least keeps you visible. Indifference deletes you. Let them project something either way. Better they project power than pity. Gatekeepers are overwhelmed. They use shortcuts, fit, tone, carriage, edges of detail, to decide who might be worth time. Opportunity does not knock on every door. It knocks on the doors it can see. If you look like a whisper, the knock never comes. Invisibility is a tax. The poor pay it daily, often proudly. Do not mistake this for vanity. It is strategy. You are not buying status trinkets. You are designing signal. You are removing friction from first impressions so substance can enter the room. You are refusing to be sorted into background before you've had a chance to speak. And understand the stickiness of perception. Power clings. So does weakness. Once you let the world set you low, you will climb twice to stand where you could have walked. Never surrender your image just for now. The reset cost is brutal. Mid-roll, lock this in. Type, "I will never hide my power again." Let your future self watch you draw the line. You were not born to camouflage. You were born to command, even when you are broke, especially when you are building. Presence is not a lie. It is a forecast. You are not faking it. You are signaling it early and then making it true. This is how every name you admire carved air into altitude. They behaved as inevitable until the world agreed. So carry yourself with weight before the weight arrives. Dress like you respect your mission. Speak like every word has a cost. Move like you belong because you decided you do. Build a reputation for discipline so strong that even your silence is loud. Never, under any circumstance, pretend to be poor. Not for sympathy, not for safety, not for strategy. The costume will fuse to your skin. You will be paid less, respected less, heard less, and remembered as you presented yourself at your weakest. That is the law. Break it and you pay. Obey it and you rise. If this message struck you, claim it now. Write, "I will never hide my power again." Then act accordingly. The world is not ready. It never is. It must be told.